look at this. It is, I mean, it is block after block here. You can see a fireplace in somebody's house. And just over here, it's, as you can see, look, we talked about whether, this house soon probably is going to light. Look at this. Smoke is now pouring out of this house from the attic space. So it's only a matter of, it likely won't be long until this house goes up. The firefighters I was talking to earlier were saying that one of the things they look for is that smoke pouring out of the attic space, and when it's a sign to them that house is very likely going to go, and obviously in that case it did as well. We want to talk to. Actually, I just want to just give you. I want you to hear from the woman who she and her husband own this house. This is the house they came back to when they were first married. They now use it as a B&B. They rent it out. I don't know if B&B, but they rent it out. I actually saw the renter earlier here today who came back to try to get some of her stuff. They just came back right before, literally 2 minutes or so before we went on air. Here's some of what she said. Brenda, so this is your house.
This is our house. Yeah, we bought it in 2013. And we lived here for 11 years, and we moved last year, but we rented it out as an investment property. And
this was your retirement?
This is our retirement. This is our nest egg. This is where we moved in when we got married. This is where our son was born. This was our house, and this was what we worked for. This was what we were going to use to retire. That was our investment.
You just got here. Did you know that it had...
We knew that both ends of the street were on fire, and our house was still standing as of this morning, along with these and the ones across the street.
It was standing until about 3 hours ago.
Yeah, and yeah. So when we heard that it was on fire, we drove over, and we heard that the firefighters were trying to put out the fire, and so we wanted to see for ourselves what the damage was. But it's gone. It's gone. It's a total loss.
I'm so sorry.
Thank you.
Yeah, and there's a lot of homeowners who have not been able to get back yet to see the level of destruction here. Bill Weir is in the Palisades. I want to go to him. Bill, how are things where you are?
It is unbelievable, Anderson. I'm sorry, the superlatives have been flying through the air from all of you, but it looks like a war zone here in the central village of Pacific Palisades, one of the most picturesque neighborhoods in America. This whole block of small businesses, salons and restaurants, cafes, galleries, completely gutted, bombed out, turned to ash. Anything that isn't brick is ash right now. Across the street, behind the camera, another complex of doctors' offices, dentist offices, gone, bombed out. The glow of the flames in the distance is another art gallery. And we've seen these fire trucks just driving on by because they have other more pressing concerns. And I keep thinking, Anderson, about lessons learned. This reminds me so much of covering the Paradise Fire up in California over 5 years ago, Lahaina and Maui over a year ago now. Those lessons, painful lessons in how to defend mountain communities in Paradise, alarm systems in Lahaina, and this is going to be lessons in urban wildfire right now. This state is already in the middle of an insurance crisis in which many major insurance stopped writing policies, homeowner policies. The price has gone through the roof for people who call this place home now, and this will only add to that. This is one of the most expensive pieces of real estate, this zip code, anywhere in the United States, and so many of those, over 1,000 different structures burned to the ground. Paradise, over 16,000, smaller, but the kinds of homes here are very different. This is a whole nother layer. And you have to also think about adaptation and infrastructure and how we live with fire on an overheating planet right now and how to battle these. The big concern here as the hydrants went basically worthless in the middle of the night last night because this is the end of the water line here in the Palisades, and so the pipes get smaller as you get further away from the main lines. The pressure gets lower. They have 3 big 1 million gallon tanks that actually provide a lot of that water pressure, but they were tapping it with such speed that it couldn't fill up in time to keep the water pressure going. And so that's what we see lots of hands on deck. Mutual aid in this state, they've called in crews from 5 surrounding counties to help out, but there's only so much water in the grid, in the system to go around. And you're learning that when you have these big fires everywhere, it saps the entire system in ways that you could knock these blazes down in simpler times. Climate change does not bring these high winds, that's natural, but what we're seeing now is this overlap of Santa Anita wind season with this drought conditions, bone dry conditions in January. It's supposed to be the wet season right now, Anderson, and here's what we have. Right now we've got a little break in the winds, giving our eyes and our lungs a little bit of a break right now. That could kick back up, but the big concern tonight is Santa Monica, more densely populated, just closer to LA from here. If these winds change, that's the big worry overnight.
Yeah, I'm told now there's a 5th fire, but again, the 4 fires that the original fires, those are not contained yet. Bill Weir, appreciate it. I want to go over to another homeowner who fled from her home, Natalie Mitchell, who joins us now. Natalie, at this point, do you know what has happened to your house?
No, at this point, we do not know the status. We've tried to get as much intel as we can, and it looks like the fire is slowly starting to come closer to our house and homes that are up in the Highlands area of Pacific Palisades. But at this point, we don't know.
We're showing some video, I understand, of you getting out of your house. Can you just talk a little bit about what that experience was like? At what point did you decide we got to go? I got to go.
It was one of the most harrowing, craziest experiences I've ever had in my life. We just really tried to listen to what the firefighters were telling us, and they have been incredible through this incredibly crazy ordeal. And so in the beginning, there's only one road to get out of the Palisades in the Highlands area where we live. And there is an emergency fire road, which was we were not able to get out that way because the fires were also impeding our path to get out that way. So there's only one road to get out, but at the time that we needed to evacuate, there was more fires on that road. So they told us to shelter in place. So we stayed at home and waited it out. But then as the afternoon progressed, we saw flames coming on the hillside. We could see it from our bedroom window, and that's when we knew we needed to get out. And then in the next 10 minutes, they just started coming closer and closer. So we grabbed whatever we could. We got in our car and we started driving down the hill, and it was just like Armageddon. I can't even describe. Raining, fire, embers everywhere. The hillside on both sides was completely engulfed in fire. We got down to Sunset, made a right to go down to PCH, and everything. I mean, businesses, grocery store, pizza parlor on fire, parking lots, trees falling in front of us. It was completely dark. By the time we got to Pacific Coast Highway, we just were so scared. We didn't know what was going to happen. My heart, goes out to everyone involved in this unbelievable tragedy. I'm just so happy that we got out with our lives.
Yeah, Natalie, it's just incredible what you and so many people in your community have gone through, and so many Altadena as well, just everywhere. Thank you so much for spending time with us. I'm so sorry for what's going on. I hope your house is okay, and I'm glad you are okay, most important of all. Thank you. I appreciate it.